Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Community Focus here on Channel 6 TV. Kenny Fogle here with you, and glad you could be with us today because we're getting into political season, as you know, and it's time just a few weeks down the road now. And I mean, when I say a few weeks, I don't mean very long. It's right down the road. November's right around the corner for us, as we all know, and we've got general election coming up, so now's the time. If you haven't been paying attention before, we hope you have, but if you haven't, right now is the time to start. We've got Jean Marie Lawson-Spann here with us today. And Jean Marie, first of all, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today and the opportunity to share my vision for the future of Kentucky agriculture.
Okay, well, we want to talk a little bit about history here right now before we get started. I mean, first of all, you're running for the Commissioner of Agriculture. I don't think there's ever been a woman Commissioner of Agriculture before, has there?
There hasn't, and I'm excited about the background that I have that has prepared me on day one as Kentucky's next Commissioner of Agriculture to hit the ground running. I've got over 20 years of agribusiness experience, of building relationships to grow Kentucky agriculture. And you know, I grew up in Barron County. We had farms in Barron and Edmonson counties and grew corn and soybeans. Plus I learned to drive basically everything that had a steering wheel in those fields. And my birth announcement was on International Harvester stationery. So when I say I was born into Kentucky agriculture, I literally was. So at a very early age, I learned how hard our farmers work every single day. Plus I learned the impact that an agribusiness can have on the Kentucky economy. We had 3 International Harvester dealerships when I was growing up in Bowling Green, Glasgow, and in Russell Springs. So that's how I grew up, taking care of our customers, service, being involved in the community. And then I had the opportunity to go to Western Kentucky University and earn my degree in marketing there. I went on a scholarship. And then I graduated on a Saturday, had the opportunity to give my invocation at my college graduation, and graduated on Saturday. On Monday, I started working for Governor Paul Patton in his press office in the Kentucky State Capitol. That gave me the opportunity to learn all about how state government works from the inside.
Yeah.
Then after working for Governor Paul Patton and his administration and through some other real-life experiences with government and then with public-private partnerships like the Connect Kentucky project that I helped put together, getting broadband and internet out to the rural parts of Kentucky, I then joined in Heartland Equipment. This was our John Deere tractor dealerships. We had stores in Bowling Green and Glasgow. I then joined in as our Vice President of Marketing and helped expand to stores in Louisville and Somerset. I oversaw our entire marketing budget. I'm the only candidate in this race that has agribusiness experience. And that's so important. When you look at the Department of Agriculture, it's around 250 employees. It's a $33 million budget. I'm the only one in this race that has that experience. The management, the administration. I helped manage 100 employees at Heartland Equipment. The administration experience from working for Governor Paul Patton. I've done the payroll, paid the payroll taxes. I have that experience. In addition to selling John Deere equipment and taking care of our customers, we also had a strong belief for getting involved in the communities for which we served. So that meant always supporting our young farmers, our FFA chapters, 4-H clubs. We started the Kentucky Farm Women Field Day. Our most recent field day, we had over 300 women to participate in the field day. So I'm proud of all of those things. And then additionally, I have a radio show, the Jean Marie Ag Show, which is a weekly agriculture radio show that we've done for 11 years. And every Monday I go on the air talking about all of the great and positive things that are happening in Kentucky agriculture. And when you look at the Department of Agriculture, in addition to being the top regulatory agency in state government, it's also Commissioner of Agriculture. You're the spokesperson for Kentucky agriculture and the #1 marketer for our Kentucky ag products. With my marketing degree and my communications and broadcasting experience with my radio show, my agribusiness experience, on day one as Commissioner of Agriculture, I'll hit the ground running. Another thing, what I do now, I'm Vice President of our International Division for Lawson Marketing. I work very closely with the World Trade Center of Kentucky and all of our commodity organizations, helping our Kentucky farmers export their products, meaning opening up our Kentucky farm products to a whole new world, and then working with our clients in Argentina, Brazil, and all across Europe to locate branches of their company here in Kentucky. And when they do that, it's jobs for Kentuckians and new permanent local markets for our farmers' products. For example, there's a company in Canada that just located in Logan County. It's a pet food company, and they're in Logan County. They're hiring folks in that area to go to work, and they're partnering with our local farmers to get food for that pet food. So it's a win-win-win. And that's exactly an example of what we can do all across Kentucky. Another thing is we're traveling around Kentucky. We're talking about the vision that I have for Kentucky-grown industrial hemp. We see it as an entire industry that could be here in Kentucky, from having the seed to planting it to growing it to recruiting the ag processors here to Kentucky. So when our farmers, after they have grown it and harvested it, that there's a place to take it to make money. And then the 25,000 different ways that we can use Kentucky-grown industrial hemp, from the health issues that it can help with children and families, to then also when you look at automobile needs and clothes and baskets and thousands of things. Plus, Kentucky-grown industrial hemp, by having an entire industry, can mean tens of thousands of jobs for Kentucky. Another thing is we're traveling the Commonwealth, visiting with Kentuckians and listening to their needs and their wants. They're saying that they want to know what's in the food that they're eating and where it's coming from. Safe local food is a passion of Kentuckians, and they want to know if the food has been genetically modified. So in addition to looking for that great logo that you look on there where it says Kentucky Proud, that we all know that when we do that, when we buy something that has the Kentucky Proud label on there, that you're supporting a Kentucky farm family, your neighbor. But then also we want to have an additional label on there that lets you know, lets our consumers know what they're asking for. Has that food been genetically modified? So I'll work to make that happen. We'll put the very best folks to work on that. Additionally, in addition to the jobs and the markets opportunities, the genetically modified labeling and the industrial hemp, also legalizing medical marijuana. There's a family in Rineyville, Kentucky that has contacted me and let me know that their child has been having severe seizures. You know, as a new mom of a 3-month-old son, I can't even imagine what those families are going through. And they're having to take their child to Colorado. There's 23 states that have legalized medical marijuana. We need to take care of our Kentuckians and our families that are struggling here in Kentucky. I want it to be under a strict patient, physician, doctor relationship, be closely monitored. But after this child was taken to Colorado to get that treatment with medical marijuana, the child's not having seizures anymore. We can do that here in Kentucky. We've got families that are suffering with cancer, glaucoma, these seizures, and I think it's a responsibility of us to take care of our own, of our farm families and all Kentuckians. Growing the Kentucky Proud program is another passion. Connecting our farmers in the rural areas with the markets. Mayor Greg Fisher, just right up the road here, often references and cites a study that shows the Louisville area, which consists of this area that we're in here today. There's a $2 billion demand for local food. I mean, $2 billion with a B. That means our consumers are asking for the food. So we've got to put the very best logistic minds, and we will, in a Jean Marie Lawson-Spann administration, connecting our farmers with this demand. Because then if you look at the rest of the study, it shows there's another $1 billion demand in the Lexington area. In northern Kentucky, another $2 billion demand. Plus there's other opportunities across the state. Our farm sales last year were $5.7 billion. And that included corn and soybeans and everything else. But this is just on local food. So by meeting that demand, we almost double our farm sales. So
well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, you know, you're blowing me away here with that. First of all, you've done your homework because you know what you're talking about. Because I always thought farming when I was growing up on a farm was cutting hay, tobacco, and milking a cow every now and then. But it sounds to me like there's a whole lot more to the agro business, as you say, than there is just farming.
There is, and you know, some of your listeners might say, why should we care about the Commissioner of Agriculture? Well, in addition to what I've just shared, I mean, really, if you eat, if you buy gas. If you go to your county fair and you ride a Ferris wheel, or if you go to Kentucky Kingdom and ride a Ferris wheel, if you go to your grocery store or your farmer's market and buy produce and weigh it on the scale there, if you have your yard sprayed for pesticides, you want it to be safe because if your children or grandchildren go out and play in the yard, you want to make sure that what's being sprayed is safe. If you have your home or your apartment sprayed for bugs, all of these things and so much more, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture has the responsibility to make sure that you're safe and that you get your full measure.
Well, everybody's interested in eating and everybody, and the marketing, obviously. And like you said, we got to sell our products.
We got to sell our products, and I'm the only one in this race that has that experience. the agribusiness experience. And also have a background of bringing people together, Democrats, Republicans, and independents. We've all got to work together to move Kentucky agriculture and Kentucky forward. When you look at the numbers, 1 in every 5 jobs in Kentucky is related to Kentucky agriculture. So when we grow Kentucky agriculture, we grow the entire Kentucky economy. Another thing that I'm proud of and focused on, and it's all throughout my platform, is education. Ag in the classroom, getting in to talk to our youngest of Kentuckians about where our food comes from, about how hard our Kentucky farm families work every single day, getting into the schools, visiting with them there. And then on the second part of this education plan is 85% of our Kentucky farm families are part-time farmers, meaning someone in that farm family has to have off-farm work to help supplement the family's income. In my administration, Jean Marie Lawson Spann, we will partner with the KCTCS and all of our public and private universities because they have distance learning modules. So they have the modules and they have the content to put in these modules. We will offer this at a discounted rate to our Kentucky farm families, these part-time farmers, to help them take this training, whether it's 11 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the morning, whenever it works for him or her to take these classes. I feel like it is a responsibility of the Department of Agriculture. If we have a farm family that's wanting to get more education to help them get those skills and training so they can qualify for better off-farm paying jobs, let's do it. Because again, if they can have a better off-farm job to help supplement that family's income, that helps that farm family. And what I'm hearing is we're traveling across the Commonwealth, what I've heard here today in Nelson County, folks like living here. They like living on that family farm with all the family. So let's help them grow their farming
Well, I know you
operations.
visit a lot of farm. For a while the other day, you were at Pat and Tommy Hart's farm today.
Yes,
So
yeah.
and Pat and Tommy, I know they're hot for you right now.
Yeah, and they want to keep living on their family farm, grow it, and then pass it on to the next generation. And I'm passionate about that. And now that I'm a new mom to 3-month-old Lee Lawson Spann, I want to help Kentucky reach its best.
Yeah.
So my son Lee and all of Kentucky's children can continue living in Kentucky, find jobs in Kentucky, grow their families in Kentucky, and have access to fresh, safe, nutritious, and locally grown food. My state co-chair of my campaign is Billy Ray Smith, former Commissioner of Agriculture, and he has been actively supporting my campaign along the campaign trail. And he summed it up best when he announced early on that he was supporting me. He said, Jean Marie is the right person at the right time with the right experience and background to be able to bring everyone together to move Kentucky agriculture
So it makes a
forward.
difference who's in that office. You don't necessarily have to be a basketball celebrity. You have to be in that office.
No, Kentucky deserves a commissioner of agriculture that has
Who understands
agribusiness-
agriculture.
that understands agriculture and all of the parts of agriculture. When Max Stone endorsed me, he's a Scott County farmer. He's active in Kentucky agriculture and in the Organic Association of Kentucky. He's even on the National Organic Standards Board. When he endorsed me, he said, I'm proud to endorse Jean Marie because she understands and appreciates all of the broad diversity of our great Kentucky agriculture. Everybody deserves a seat at the table. In my administration, when everybody calls, they're going to get their question answered. They'll get their time with me. Because I understand, I've been a member of the Community Farm Alliance. I understand all the aspects of Kentucky agriculture. And I'm just excited about the opportunities, what we can do to help our farm families, and help all of Kentucky.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, I know you're busy, and I do appreciate you stopping in here today and speaking with us because it means a lot to people that come up front and personal and get to see who's actually going to be up there helping them with their food process and all these other things you're talking about.
Again, I'm the only one in this race with agribusiness experience. I'm the only one that has the marketing degree. And that's so important when you look at what we're going to be doing to help our Kentucky farmers. Marketing their products all around the world. Communication. That's the Commissioner of Agriculture. You're the top spokesperson for Kentucky agriculture. The business experience, running it. I've met a budget before. I've done the payroll, paid the payroll taxes. All of these things on day one as Kentucky's next Commissioner of Agriculture, I'll hit the ground running. And I also want to say, all these great ideas that we have, it's not going to cost anything. I mean, literally, many of these ideas that we have is we will be a great steward of the Kentucky taxpayer dollars, and we won't spend one more dollar than we have to. We've even announced regional offices in Western and Eastern Kentuckys, and we will do it within existing budget because we want to take Frankfort to the people. All all areas of Kentucky are important, and it's great to get out and talk to those people out there and let them know that their voices matter. But to accomplish all of these great things, I ask for your vote and your support. I'm Kentucky born, Kentucky educated, and Kentucky proud. I invite you to come on our campaign. Jean Marie for kyag.com is our website. We're on Facebook and Twitter. I'll be a Commissioner of Agriculture you can be proud of. I'll run a Department of Agriculture that you can be proud of.
All right,
so I ask for your vote.
Jean Marie Lawson-Spann here with the State Commissioner of Agriculture. And like I said, November 2nd, I believe it is.
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Yes.
Well, don't show up November 2nd. November 2nd, get ready to show up. November 3rd, show up. And again, that's election day. We want you to take it seriously. It sounds like you are.
Thank you. Yes.
So again, we appreciate you showing up today.
Thanks.
And we appreciate you tuning in. So we'll be back in just a few minutes here on more Community Focus here on Channel 6 TV.